The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Friday in the Riv.
You having a speech impediment or something?
Again.
Well, the first thing I want to attack. Thing I want to attack before we get onto Migrant Vineyard is the fact that tonight at 6:15 there will be a special meeting of the City Council, which I believe is illegal. I believe it's in violation of Mass General Law 30A, which is the open meeting law. Because the meeting was posted at 4:01 p.m. Business is closed already.
Right.
So the mayor had the city clerk stay after hours to post this meeting because he might get sick and not be able to fulfill his duties as mayor.
I'm having a difficult time believing that he actually went to that. You know, I hate to say this, but if Brandon goes to sleep forever, and Kamala has a stroke, we got somebody else. We got a vice president. There's a vice president who, by the charter, becomes the president. And look, let's face it. What you do, if you disappeared, nobody noticed, Paul, number one. Secondly, what business does the city council do that is so important? Are they going to declare war on Russia? Do they have the nuclear football? Give me a break. This is purely political.
Yes, it is. No question about it.
They want control, and they can't even wait until the next meeting. Mm-hmm. They covet power so much that they cannot wait. This is blatant politics.
Yeah, it is.
I want my person to be the president, and that's the end of it. And this is ridiculous.
Well, what's interesting?
But wait a minute, let me just get this in, because remember how much that a lot of the people who were pushing for this special meeting are always bitching. Oh, I got plans that day. Even though when they take that job, they know when the city council meetings are.
That's right.
Oh, I got plans. Can we move the meeting? Can we do this? Can we do to accommodate them? But now they want another accommodation for their political purposes, for their political gain. But that's all I wanted to say, because I want to remind everybody that they're always complaining when they have to go to the regularly scheduled meetings.
Right.
But when it comes to something for their own agenda,
it's no problem.
Don't worry about the charter. Don't worry about the open meeting law. Don't worry about anything. Just do it. Shut up and check the box.
Well, what's interesting is that, according to my sources, the city council secretary, Colleen, was making phone calls of the city councilors to assess or to quote-unquote poll their availability for a special meeting, which means the meeting had already been planned. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Because if they're saying, what's your availability for this meeting, the meeting was already planned. And I asked City Councilor Michelle Dion, when did she plan this meeting? She says, I didn't. I said, well, as far as I know, you're the only one that can call a meeting.
That was the point I was going to make. Why is Colleen calling around? Nothing. I'm sure Colleen was told to do it.
Right.
Because I know Colleen. And
so do I.
She's very nice and always accommodating, and but why is she calling around polling? Who told her to do that? If it wasn't the president of the city council or the acting president or whatever you want to, president pro tem or whatever you want to say. Number one, again, we have a violation of the protocols.
That's right.
She's calling around, and she calls the president after she's called other people, but she's the one that calls special meetings.
Right.
So, I mean, look, this whole thing just smacks of political patronage.
Remember, I always follow the law. I follow the charter. I make sure that I follow the law. I follow the rules. You know, I don't break the law. I don't break the rules.
And if I do, I'm resigning.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yes, I do.
And if I do, I'm resigning.
Yep.
God, he should have been
Resigning months ago.
We should have 600 to 700 letters of resignation
Exactly,
already.
Exactly. You know,
But,
it's just...
yeah, this is a disgrace. Look, this is just a disgrace. They complain about being inconvenienced by meetings that run too long.
Yep.
It's a part-time job. You know, they're always whining. We got to get out of here. It's 11 o'clock at night. You know, you bother me. You tell, I don't even know what they're making now. What are they making, 16, 18 grand? Something like that?
Something like that.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people in Florida that are not making that are working 40 hours.
That's right.
They're making barely that.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, they would go to one meeting a month, or 2 meetings a month in a regular season, and 1 meeting a month in the summer to get 18 grand,
Yeah.
or 16 grand, or 15 grand, or
Right.
even 10 grand.
Exactly. Exactly.
So look, this is again, elitist. You know, it's outrageous, and that's
Right.
what's happening. So.
Right. And, you know, I spoke with Patrick Higgins. Hello, Patrick. I know you're watching. I spoke to Patrick Higgins about a potential open meeting law violation. And he gave me the name of somebody
Go
at...
Crimson Tide. Go ahead.
somebody at the Division of Open Government, and I called, and I got their voicemail. I called the hotline number. That was voicemail. I sent them an email. I haven't gotten a response yet. But, you know, the one thing I got to remember is what Joe Camara said. Remember, the wheels of government move slow.
Except when they want it to move fast.
Except when they want it to move fast. Now, according to what was said on local media outlets, Leo Pelletier will cast his first vote for Joe Camara. And if there's a second vote, then he'll vote for Sean Kadim. I don't understand that mentality, but whatever.
Look, it's Leo.
Laura Washington says,
Leo.
I don't know who I'm going to vote for.
Oh, what a lie. Oh, God. If she was Pinocchio, her nose would be in California already.
Yep.
Come on. Yeah, give us a break. Look, this whole thing, you know, this is a joke. We'll see what happens tonight. And, well, I won't, because I won't watch it. I'll
It's going to be a meeting that lasts about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
if that.
you know, I'll tape it so then I can, when people call me and go, do you know what happened? I'll go, no, not yet. And I'll, you know, but thank you for letting me know. But look, this is a joke. This is, again, we have a cabal in this city now, and they want total control, just like the Democrats want in the government. They do not want anybody to have a differing opinion. They just locked up the pillow guy.
Right.
The guy that sells pillows and house shoes and blankets and stuff. They locked him up because they don't like the person that he supports. So this is not America. It's not America. You can't have this situation where people are just, they disregard it. But if we're done with that, I got to segue into Martha's Vineyard.
No, Migrant Vineyard.
Yo, SA, this place, Martha's Vineyard is really nice. Yeah, yo, SA. Listen, this is, I love it because now you can see the outrage of these elitists.
Yeah.
Poor people can't get near them. Are you nuts? They have signs in all immigrants, we stand with all the, as soon as they get a couple, 50 immigrants. 2 million have come across the border this year, so far, and the year's not over.
That's right.
2 million. And most of them are in Texas and Arizona, and the ones they farmed up to New York. But none of them are on Martha's Vineyard. None of them are near Nancy Pelosi's front lawn, because you can't do that. These rich people, they faux care. It's phony. They tell you how much they care, and they look down on these people. They're like low-hanging fruit, to quote Helena Folks. Mm-hmm. They're low-hanging fruit. I'm going to tell you how bad it is, people. I just heard this morning on the way in, and I find it, I don't find it hard to believe. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was going to say it's hard to believe, but it isn't. Because I know how these rich people operate. When Lori Lightfoot, who allows 500 shootings in every weekend in Chicago, and carjackings and murders and rapes. when the demonstrators got near her house, she called in the entire Chicago Police Department and activated the National Guard. Nobody's getting near her. Our dip, our rhino, useless, on his way out, lame duck governor has activated the National Guard because they got 50 immigrants in Martha's Vineyard. Give me a break. You could stick 50 immigrants on Obama's front lawn, and they could all build a house and have a pretty decent-sized house lot on Obama's $12 million resort, home, summer home, or whatever you want to call it. But he's got other homes. So I don't know too many people who can afford a $12 million second or third or fourth home. But these are the elitists.
You mean you don't have one?
They talk a good game. They talk a good game. But when it comes down to
they want.
oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's Patrick. He's just getting just like Coogan now.
Yep.
You're right. They didn't lock him up. They just seized his phone. Okay, the pillow guy. Okay, Patrick. Thank you. We don't want to be called on that. That's right.
Well,
because
you know,
they're looking over our shoulders.
That's right. And what's interesting is this: people in this state have asked for this state to be a sanctuary
That's
state.
right.
Okay?
But not in their backyard.
But not in their backyard, obviously. And what really gets me is that right now, the governor has ordered the use of Joint Base Cape Cod to be the staging area for these people. This is where they will live, where they will receive free medical care, free clothing, free food, free legal assistance. And remember, it's free, right?
And
no, it's on my tax
That's
dollar.
right.
It's on your tax dollar.
Well, remember one thing. Joint Base Cape Cod is not on Martha's Vineyard.
That's right.
So the bottom line of that story is all those welcoming signs are going. As soon as they got off the plane, they totally panicked and said, you got to get this riffraff out of here.
That's right.
Get them out. We don't want Michelle to have to walk into one of these people.
Right.
And somebody sent a nice little thing. I got to look it up.
Well, what's interesting is that, very interesting actually, is that one of the people on Cape Cod, I don't know if she's a social service person or whatever, here's what she said. Martha's Vineyard cannot handle this situation because we don't have housing.
50 people.
We don't have housing. We don't have the social service structure to meet with the needs of these people. We don't have the availability of resources to meet with their needs, and we need more help. Well, and what she said, which was very interesting, and Martha's Vineyard has a housing crisis.
Yeah, well, look.
A housing crisis. How come if I want to go there for 2 weeks in the summer, I don't have a problem getting around?
Well, let me tell you something. She's probably right about all those things. Mm-hmm. Because it's done intentionally.
The rich don't need it.
They don't have any services for poor people.
That's right.
Because they don't want poor people.
And they don't need them.
And they don't need them.
That's
and
right.
they don't want them to come. So they use that as an excuse. We have no resources. Well, why don't you have resources? Because what's the average income? And I'm going to read you this quote. Somebody sent me this. Thank you for sending me this. This is a quote from Michelle Obama in 2011. Someone is going to have to give up a piece of their pie so others can have more. But apparently the Obamas don't want to give up any of their pie. Then it goes on to say 2019, Barack and Michelle Obama's 29-acre, $14 million mansion with 7 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms is in Martha's Vineyard. I think they could get a couple of migrants and give them a place, give them a couple of place to stay. Their front lawn is almost half the size of the Flint.
That's it.
So, yeah, you look at this mansion, it's incredible. These people are so hypocritical. They're disgusting. These elitists. And they go, and they use the same we don't have the resources. But I'm a sanctuary city, because bring them all here, but don't get them near me.
That's it.
I don't want them within any proximity to me. Nancy Pelosi calls in the National Guard. Mario Bowser calls in the National Guard in D.C. Oh, no, they're sending them to D.C. Well, you're a sanctuary city.
That's right.
But we don't want them.
That's right.
Yeah,
San Francisco's a sanctuary
exactly.
city. Okay?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Did you hear the quote from President Biden?
You mean what he read?
Yeah, what he read.
You can't quote him because that's not his. Those aren't his words.
Those aren't his words. But did you hear what he said?
No.
About it, he goes that this is a travesty. Well, I'm not quoting
Paraphrasing.
Here. I'm paraphrasing. He said that this is a travesty.
Yeah.
Using people as political pawns. Yeah. This is, you know.
Well,
this
what is he doing? Letting 2 million people over the border?
Right. But here's the thing. Those people that come over the border, as you said earlier, Texas, Arizona, they're the ones that handle it. I don't blame Ron DeSantis for sending them to Martha's Vineyard. Guess what? Congratulations, Ron DeSantis.
Listen.
It's about time that other people pay their freight and carry on some of this because they want to have these people here. Not a problem. Okay? I'm not against legal. You'll notice I put that legal in there. Legal immigration. I am not against it. Okay? But when you've got over 2 million illegal immigrants crossing the border, which, by the way, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris keep saying is secure, our border is secure.
Well, they lie.
Okay? So much so that the Department of Homeland Security said something's got to give. The Department of Homeland Security, who's in charge of the border, says something's got to give. We can't handle this.
Well, they invited him here, and they're lying. And to show how ridiculously hypocritical they are, and the way they spin things, they're allowing. You don't see the mainstream media ever talking about the border, and the fentanyl deaths, and everything else being caused, and the human trafficking. By the way, there's a big piece about human trafficking has gone up like 15% throughout the world, and a lot of it is coming across the border. But look at what they say. I'm a sanctuary city. We welcome them, and then when you send them, the people, they compared DeSantis to Adolf Hitler sending Jews to the concentration camps.
And
well, they were going to die. Over here, they're going to get a hotel, health care. They're going to live better than some of the richest people in the country they just left.
That's right.
And most of them, and here's the irony, in case you wokey nitwits can't make this connection. And the irony of this, they want to make this country into a socialist country. And where are all these immigrants coming from now that are going to Washington and not
socialist countries?
Venezuela.
Venezuela, exactly.
Venezuela.
Yep.
They're fleeing what you're trying to create, you dips. You are useless hypocrites that don't care because nothing affects you. And good for Ron DeSantis and for Governor Abbott for letting you feel a little bit of the pain that they've been feeling since Biden's been in office. These people are pouring over. They got people defecating on people's farmlands. Yeah, they can't leave their houses without being armed because they're afraid of being raped and murdered. You have the audacity? Yeah, it's Tall Duvall, our boy, the rhino. Oh, it's Martha's Vineyard. Those are all the rich donors. Hey, get the National Guard. Get them out of there. Get them out. You don't see anybody. And think about that irony. What Abbott and DeSantis are doing is exactly what they just did. They're getting their butts out of Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
So what are they doing? They're sharing the wealth. They're sending them. They're getting these people that came into their backyard and farming them out. But remember, they didn't send them to one place that wasn't a sanctuary city.
Right.
By their own definition.
That's right.
They wanted these people, and now they're complaining. You know, talk about the hypocrites.
Which is very interesting because in less than 24 hours, they've got a plan in place to get all the immigrants out of Martha's Vineyard.
You're damn right. Yeah,
They're gone. They're out of there. I'm sure the steamship authority is running on overtime to get them off the island.
And I know it won't last on Facebook long, but there's a whole bunch of pictures with with some nice captions, and it's but it's funny. Yeah. They talk so much about equity. Well, let's make Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is 89% white. Mm-hmm. And the other 11% is Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama. Those are the other ones. Spike Lee.
Yep.
None of them are worth under $1 billion.
Right.
Those are the only non-white people allowed in Martha's Vineyard. And
That's
they got
right.
a housing crisis because there's not enough houses on Martha's Vineyard. When you got 29 acres, you know, Martha's Vineyard's an island. There's a housing crisis because they got no land.
That's right.
To build houses because you can't. Because Obama owns about a third of the island. Mm-hmm. So this is insanity. It's absolute insanity. And there's such hypocrites, it disgusts me. It makes me nauseous. Makes me more nauseous than my kidney stone. Okay? So that's how bad it is. But we got to, there's another issue too we got to hit. And it's important.
Well, before you do that,
Go ahead.
I was appalled by politicians equating Ron DeSantis and Governor Abbott and so many others to human traffickers. Do they know what human trafficking is? Do they know the pain and the suffering that human trafficking causes? Okay? Even the immigrants turned around and said that when they were sent here, they were told they were going to Boston. Okay? I'm sure the people in New York thought they were going...
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. You know, but what do they expect to get in Boston? More than they're getting in Joint Base Cape Cod? I mean, look, they're getting Massachusetts welfare in one form or another, whether it be actual AFDC, TAFDC, whatever they call it, or whether it's, you know, government handouts. It's still a form of welfare.
Yeah.
And it's not our responsibility. This is the thing that people don't understand. This is why people are fed up with illegal immigration. Okay? I'm not, like I said, a hater. I don't hate people who come to this country legally. There's the key, legally. And I'd love to see it down at Battleship Cove when there's 45, 50 people taking their oath of citizenship. It's a wonderful thing to see. Because you're seeing people who are doing it legally.
Yeah.
But it's not a wonderful thing to see that when you do it illegally, you get everything handed to you.
Every other country in the world has borders. Mm-hmm. To say we have no borders and to say it's our fault that these people and I sympathize with them living in those crap holes in their countries. But when the first act is to violate a federal law and come into this country illegally, and then of course they're going to come in. They're being taken care of like they're, you know, the legal citizens don't get taken care of. You come in as a legal citizen, it's like, hey, okay, you can come into the country, go find a job. Because we're not going to give you welfare. We're not going to give you a free hotel. We're not going to give you lawyers. We're not going to, you know, this is the typical hypocrisy of the left. They want to, as you said, it's appalling. It's human trafficking. They have no idea. Human trafficking now has become even a bigger worldwide issue because of the cartels.
That's right.
And how much money they're making and how much trafficking they're doing over the American border and throughout the world now. Because the cartels are getting richer by the minute. They're killing over 100,000 people in the United States every day. And Joe Biden and the left are not doing a damn thing about it. And they spin everything. Remember, they actually had the audacity, and I heard that, what is it, Dinglebat? Debbie Dingle, you know that
Yeah.
it's Congresswoman or
Yep.
Senator, I don't know which way, because I don't.
Right.
I try not even to listen to her. Debbie Dinglebat. I actually saw her on a news media talking about January 6th and saying they came to the Capitol to kill people. It's like Pearl Harbor, really. Last time I checked, there wasn't one weapon seized by any of the demonstrators in January 6th. There was not one killing except the killing of a protester, an unarmed veteran protester.
Right.
With no warning, and the guy didn't lose his job, get put in jail, and that individual had excessive force complaints against him prior to shooting that woman, and it's on video, no warning, just killed her. Shot her dead. They manipulate the narrative and lie all the time. It's okay. They look, I'm not saying January 6th was right. I don't believe in anybody, violating the law, and they did. But most of them were let in. Most of them were allowed in, and some of them got acquitted. You're right. But the FBI was sneaking in there, and nobody's going to look at that until somebody else gets in and they'll conduct an investigation, because they got that guy outside telling him to go in, and all of a sudden he was disappeared from the list. He didn't get investigated. May have been an FBI plant. But the reality is, the same people who were making this Pearl Harbor, the worst, an attack, the overthrowing the government, it's a coup. They've never seen a real coup, just like they've never seen real human trafficking and the results of it. But they didn't condemn for 1 minute all the rioting and looting and burning and killing that went on by BLM and Antifa for an entire summer. As a matter of fact, they bailed them out. They had a bail fund. So I don't want to hear that. The local media, and that segues us perfectly into the next thing we got to deal with. First of all, let me read a headline that came out yesterday. MBTA projects grim budget picture for the next fiscal year. Boston Globe, now the Boston Herald, the Boston Globe, Channel 5 News.
None of them that are credible, right?
None of them that are credible. But now we get into it. We talk about the media stifling accurate reporting. They're not saying, look, yeah, you're right. It was like a, I don't know. Joe likes to use the prefix semi, so we'll call it a semi, riot. But it wasn't really. A lot of them were half high, I think, on pot, like the guy with the horns in the ears, walking around going, "Hey, how you doing, everybody?" It's like, come on. And then you got these other people that are not even in the building saying they feared for their lives. It was absurd. Like I said, it was wrong. But so was the rioting throughout the summer of love. But the media doesn't touch it, doesn't touch the border, doesn't touch the fentanyl crisis, doesn't touch anything, because they are nothing more than propagandists for the left. And it's happening here. This article segues them into WSAR actually took down the rail page, and they attributed it to being spam. Everything in that page was articles from the Boston Herald, the Boston Globe, Channel 5 News. Everything was purely accurate. Yet they allow other political pages to be on. There's an attempt. Nobody hears anything about these unless somebody goes in front of the council and says it, or we say it on this show. Why are our representatives and the news media in this city not telling everybody that the MBTA projects a grim budget? I mean, this is ridiculous. They suppress the First Amendment rights of the people who posted that page to try to give information, accurate, not their information, but accurate information from media reporting that's actually reporting what's happening with the MBTA, to suppress that. And that is a violation of the First Amendment, and it's un-American.
Well, remember, WSAR has blocked me. If I call into the station, they drop me. I can't comment on their Facebook page. They've blocked me. And you got to remember, the owner of that station, Mr. Bobby Karam, is making money because of the MBTA. So why would he want anything negative about the MBTA posted, even if it is true? Why would he? Because that's going to hurt his bottom line. That's going to hurt his pocketbook. Because I'm sure at some point the MBTA will start advertising on We Suck at Radio. And there's no question about it. No question about it at all. But this is what happens when your First Amendment rights get screwed. And that's what happens with WSAR. Well, people, we're out of time. As usual, we always need more time. I want to thank you all for watching. And remember, have a great weekend and stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday.
And stay informed.